Goodbye, Mikey, and hello, Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson.
My name is Andy Robinson.
And together we are the Godfather Minute Brothers. How are you doing this week, Andy?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
You recovered from Valentine's Day?
Well, I'm ready to show the world all the love I got for it.
Very good, very good. Well, Valentine's Day was actually, now that I think about it, was like 2 weeks before this episode.
That's true.
Never mind. Are you recovering from your President's Day celebration?
What's with you and all these holidays, huh?
We're talking about minute 82 today.
I could have celebrated President's Day. I could have celebrated Valentine's Day. There were too many holidays, Michael.
You know it was Pop's birthday. I don't think we talked about Fredo once last week.
Oh, must be a first.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't use the F word once.
Well, also, okay, let me set up minute 82 before we start talking about Fredo again.
You want to learn how to say it in Italian first?
Sure, that'd be a fun thing to do. That sounds fun. Let's try it. What do we got to lose?
Alex, repeat after me. E minuto. Numero 82.
80 is 8.
80.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Due. That's a fun one to say. You got it.
Thank you. Thank you for my Italian lesson. I'll be ready to begin my life undercover as not a refugee or a what's it called?
An immigrant or migrant.
Yeah, but if you're being pursued by somebody, yeah.
Oh, you are
evacuee.
You are the hunted one.
It's true.
Evacuee.
So minute 82, it's Mikey saying goodbye to the Tom and Sonny. And then he goes to Jack Dempsey's joint where a car pulls up and he gets into the car with the Turk and Captain Fred McCluskey.
Matthew McCluskey.
Is it Matthew?
I don't remember.
We asked, we'll answer. So
what do you think?
No, Fredo does not get to say goodbye to Mikey.
I know.
He came. He's like, "Hey, where's Mikey?" And
well,
got something. I got my Christmas present for him.
We were all real proud of you for signing up for the Mikey. Where are you? He's still talking about enlisting. So, yeah, he doesn't. I guess Fredo at this time is in the hospital. He's still suffering from shock. Yeah. So this does happen pretty fast after the assassination attempt.
It's actually 6 months later. He's still in shock for the shooting.
Yeah. He's probably addicted to Demerol at the hospital. That's why he's pretending to be in shock.
I wish they could make a Godfather. I wish they made a Godfather TV series.
Back then?
Well, no. Well, I mean, I wish it had those actors and stuff in it, but I wish it was like modern, like modern TV is so much better now than TV was in the 70s. Mm-hmm. You could really do an adaptation of The Godfather as like an HBO type show.
So would you do the same story or kind of fill in the gaps? For example, what's happening to Fredo right now?
I would want the same story because I want to be able to cut to Fredo. He would have his own subplots and stuff and and all
awesome.
that stuff. So
because there's so much you could do.
Yeah. But I don't necessarily want to go by what's in the book. I don't want to go into adventures of, some plastic surgeon out in Las Vegas or whatever.
Well, you could make your miniseries different than the book.
You do a new song? Did you do a new song for that?
No, we're going to use the same song and just overdub the lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking Sollozzo. You could do a lot with his crew.
Yeah.
When he first gets this idea and he approaches when he approaches Titania.
Would we?
You mean Barzini?
You talked to Barzini?
Woo!
Anyway, so I think it's obviously it's not going to happen. It's a fun idea though to have it spread out over a whole.
Yeah.
Would you still do Godfather 1 as one season and Godfather 2 as a second season, or would you just put the flashbacks?
Do chronological?
Yeah, that's kind of different though.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
Yeah.
So I know we said in the last minute that this was the last time that Mike and Sonny see each other. In this minute is literally the last time they see each other. Mm-hmm. So I think it's kind of touching. There's a moment where Michael, when they're done talking, he just stares at Sonny with his jaw wired shut. Mm-hmm. So it's a pause of maybe 2 seconds, and then they hug. Mm-hmm. It's really sort of touching, that moment. Do you think either of them know
know what?
That this is the last time? Do either of them sense it?
No,
I
don't think so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But, I could see it that way. Or at least I don't feel like the movie is indicating that.
Yeah.
It's not like they show Sonny and then there's like a beam of light on him, like he's going to go to heaven or anything.
He's pulled up to heaven by his suspenders.
And he goes up to heaven, he has to put money in the toll to get through the pearly gates.
Yeah.
No, not again. So yeah, and Sonny offers, he says, I'll tell Ma, that you had to leave. Mm-hmm. And I'll also give I'll get a message to that girlfriend of yours.
Yeah. When the time is right.
Do you think that means he's going to put a move on her? Is that what Sonny means by, I'll get a message to that. It's a Sicilian message. It means Mikey's in Sicily.
Yeah. He did wink when he said it.
Yeah, that's and he said, when the time is right.
I don't think Sonny would do that.
You don't think?
No.
You think Kay would do it, though?
Kay might do it.
She has to be curious, considering Sonny's such a...
the reputation that Sonny has. Yeah. I don't think Hagen would do it.
You don't think Hagen would have sex with Sonny?
Everyone in the family, once soon as Mikey is gone, goes to make a play out for Kay.
Even Connie.
Carlos shows up. He's like, clean it up. That's his go-to line. It's like, it worked for everyone else. That's what we can talk about in our bonus content. How would all the characters try to put a move on Kay once Mikey is gone? Okay. What would be their line? Is that worth talking about in the bonus content?
I don't know. We'll see what else. Okay. See what else we can come up with. So last week you said that it was, what time was the meeting?
They picked him up at 5 to 8
in front of Jack Dempsey's
7:55. Yes.
Okay. Interestingly, when Sonny and Mikey go to hug, Mikey is wearing a watch, and it says that it's 7:30.
Oh, okay.
So that's attention to detail right there.
Continuity alert. Continuity. I don't know why you would alert when there is continuity.
Yeah, the arrow would say, "Look at," like pointing at the watch. Yeah. Look at the watch. Look at the watch. But that's
very cool.
I wonder if that was intentional.
What do you mean? That
like if they were like, well, if you're meeting them at 8. This would be about half an hour before, so set your watch so that, so all the clocks in the room or whatever. That
if it wasn't intentional, it would be a huge coincidence.
Yeah,
because there are only 2 times in the day of filming when that would be accurate.
That's true,
roughly.
Yeah.
So I think it was intentional.
You're not supposed to. It's a big pain. It's a big expense to put clocks in movie scenes. Just because if it's a long scene, then you have to worry about like the clock matching up.
Yeah,
or if it's not even moving at all. They've been sitting there for 5 minutes talking and the clock is not moving.
I never thought about that. Is there anything else that's hard to do or manage when you're filming? I guess weather and lighting.
Yeah, weather and lighting.
It has to be continuous.
A big one.
Yeah.
That's why you film everything on green screens. That's my...
Really?
Yeah.
That's how you'd film your Godfather miniseries? Mm-hmm. Maybe we could talk about who you would get, what actors and actresses you would get modern day to play the different characters.
Oh, that's an interesting topic.
That could be a good bonus content today. Mm-hmm. Well, I do have some... Did you have more notes, Alex?
I was going to talk about Jack Dempsey.
Okay, before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about the book. It's not so much different, but it has additional information and some dialogue that you don't see in the movie.
So it is different than the book.
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You got it. So may I read, Alex?
All right.
You don't sound very interested. So Yeah, I went to college to get stupid. I want to read a passage. It's quite long, but I'm going to break it up into 3 sections because each one, because I don't want to be reading for 25 minutes. And I'll pause and then we'll talk about it.
So it's like 10-minute chunks?
No. Each one is 30 minutes.
Okay, so it's like an intermission.
Yeah. All right, first chunk. Here we go. So this is right when Michael is saying goodbye to everyone. Hagen said...
Puzo writes.
Puzo writes. Hagen said gently, "It's not too late to back out, Mike."
It's not too late to back out, Mike.
It's not too late to back out, Mike. We can get somebody else. We can go back over Can't read in that voice. I'll try it though. Okay. Hagen said gently. Puzo writes.
Gently.
Hagen said gently. It's not too late to back out, Mike. We can get somebody else. We can go back over our alternatives. Maybe it's not necessary to get rid of Sollozzo. Michael laughed. We can talk ourselves into any viewpoint, he said, but we figured it right the first time. I've been riding the gravy train all my life. It's about time I paid my dues.
Oh, that's an interesting
Ding, end segment.
Gravy train.
Yeah. So it's interesting that Michael is articulating that he has benefited from the family and he owes the family something, whereas in the movie it's not as clear. I mean, he definitely wants to protect his family. Maybe it is clear, but just not said.
It doesn't have that. It's not spelled out in that way. It's more just, I guess, a generic kind of family loyalty.
Yeah.
You know, like a loyalty to his father. You know, he's like, I'm with you now, and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
But I guess that does spell it out a bit more.
Yeah. I think I have a we'll answer. Gravy train?
I was just thinking that myself.
Yeah, you want to write that one down?
Sure, we'll ask.
Ask a we'll answer. We're going to have a pretty beefy bonus content today.
You're going to need the gravy then.
Okay, second.
Gravy. That's how it goes. Johnny.
Yeah. Second segment. Puzo writes. So this is Hagen responding to Michael talking about the gravy train. You shouldn't let that broken jaw influence you, Hagen said. McCluskey is a stupid man, and it was business, not personal.
Woo!
Interesting. I think that Hagen is the one continuing to reference that classic line.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's funny because I would have thought after the last time that kind of like put it to bed when Michael used it. That seems like it's kind of like, oh wow, he's really turning it back. But now he's going back to the original usage of just trying to.
It reminds me of Clemenza getting paid a royalty every time the cannoli line is mentioned. Maybe Hagen's getting a little something on the side. Maybe there's something in it for him.
For his mistress to go to Las Vegas.
Oh, why do you gotta insult him like that? Okay, in the third passage, this is the longest one.
Okay.
But it is very interesting. You ready?
Very interesting.
Puzo writes, for the second time, this is talking about Hagen. For the second time, he saw Michael Corleone's face freeze into a mask that resembled uncannily the Don's. And then Mike says, Tom, don't let anybody kid you. It's all personal, every bit of business. Every piece of shit every man has to eat every day of his life is personal. They call it business, okay, but it's personal as hell. You know where I learned that from? The Don, my old man, the Godfather. If a bolt of lightning hit
Vito Corleone,
the Godfather, the head of the Cosa Nostra,
Marlon Brando, Black Hand.
If a bolt of lightning hit a friend of his, the old man would take it personal. He took my going into the Marines personal. That's what makes him great. The great Don. He keeps going. The great Don Corleone, my pop. He takes everything personal, like God. He knows every feather that falls from the tail of a sparrow or however the hell it goes, right? And you know something? Accidents don't happen to people who take accidents as a personal insult. So I came late, okay, but I'm coming all the way. Damn right. I take that broken jaw personal. Damn right. I take Sollozzo trying to kill my father personal. He laughed. I take... Told the old man I learned it all from him, and that I'm glad I had this chance to pay him back for all he did for me.
Aw.
So interesting. So
Yeah.
it is all personal,
Yeah.
right?
In the eyes of the Don. Mm-hmm. Just like God.
Yeah.
The Godfather.
Vito Corleone.
My friend.
So I do have one more chunk. Sorry, I apologize.
No, it's fine.
I have one more chunk. Very interesting. This one's a bit shorter. Puzo writes, he was a good father. He paused.
He was a good father.
A good father. He paused and then he said thoughtfully to Hagen, you know, I can never remember him hitting me, or Sonny, or Fredo, and of course Connie. He wouldn't even yell at her.
Tom, though. Can you imagine beating up Tom? Well, Tom, of course. It's another story. He's a doctor.
Yeah, because he doesn't say Tom. Well, hey, why do you spend all that time studying white powder? What are you looking up all the best beer on the sea? What do I pay you to do? I send you to law school. You get. I had Jenko. Look what I gave. What I gave Sonny.
Look at all you do. You show cause for us strangers.
So interesting how in the book Puzo writes that the Godfather was not an abusive father, and I really hadn't thought about it much. But as thinking back, would you have guessed that?
It seems a little romanticized to me.
Yeah,
I've just because my impression of old world immigrants is that they're not they don't view hitting their kids as like abuse.
Yeah,
it would just be considered part of
child rearing.
Yeah,
typical of the period.
Yeah, and especially given that Sonny and everything, Sonny had to get thrown a whole bunch of beatings when he was growing up to get that kid under control.
Wait, are you saying Don Corleone slapped around Sonny?
He's got to run a business to run.
You slapped around Mikey's brother, right? You say my father slapped around my brother. That's his right. He's his father. What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you?
Did they use that line about getting struck by lightning? Is that the line that Vito Corleone uses when he's talking to the five families? And like, if he should get struck by lightning, it'll trigger happy policeman.
If he should hang himself in his cell. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so I guess they took that.
Must be an expression.
Yeah. Is there anything else from the book?
Let's see. There is one other thing from the book.
What's that?
Just a funny expression, a few funny comments. So Puzo writes, so this is when Michael is waiting in front of Jack Dempsey's to be picked up, and he's just thinking the whole plot through in his head and scheming, thinking about
shoot him twice in the foot. Oh, wait a minute, that's not right.
Oh my God, is he reading it off his hand?
It's all sweaty, so it's all running. It's like, I go to the head. Do I go to the head or do I shoot him in the head?
Do I order twice or do I shoot him twice?
Is the food good? Is the place perfect or is it not good?
Yeah. That's great.
Getting all confused.
So Puzo wrote, this is why Michael is in his head thinking about us. Sollozzo was no dummy and McCluskey was a very tough egg. He felt the ache in his wired jaw and welcomed the pain. It would keep him alert.
There you go.
So it made me wonder, Alex, have you ever had a pain that kept you alert and focused?
Not that I can't think of anything specific. No. I've led a very sheltered life, so I don't have many situations where I'm like in agonizing pain.
Yeah.
Why? Have you?
Not that I recall.
I could definitely remember being uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say it gave me focus. I guess most of the time I'm in pain, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just like, other than crying and looking for pain medication.
I cut my finger, but I have to do this homework assignment, so I'm going to stay focused.
Picture him going up to the turkeys, like gritting and like in agony.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to order with that jaw all wired shut. Do Do you think the restaurant? Well, we'll talk about it when we get there.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. How many minutes away is that?
Oh boy, when they get shot, it is minute 90, and this is minute 82. So 8 minutes left.
Well, he got whacked, but we still got the Turk. And this Captain McCluskey, he's a stupid jerk. They're gonna kill Pop so their bank accounts can feel. Sonny, relax. It's business, not personal.
Business, not personal.
We need a plan, and Tessio's our man.
All my arrangements. All my arrangements.
Wait a minute. Have a seat, then order your meal. Drink some wine, try the veal.
The best in the city.
Ask for permission, then go to the can. When you come back, you'll have more than your dick in your hand. 2 shots each, you'll be on the next flight to Sicily.
It's perfect for us. They got an old-fashioned toilet.
Shoot the Turk and McCluskey too. How many days until you do? We're counting down. Come count with me. You ain't gonna miss the Turk or Paulie.
I know how to one.
We're counting down in this song.
So that'll be what, like March, April, end of April?
End of April. Yep.
Oh, springtime. That's a good time to go to Sicily, though, because then
Yeah.
it'll be all green, everything will be blooming and all that
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
we'll be ready to go.
Perfect. It's perfect. April showers.
spring,
bring
May,
blood showers.
blood showers. Jack Dempsey.
Yeah. Who is Jack Dempsey?
Who is the real Jack Dempsey?
I'm not going to write a song for that.
Oh, William Harrison Jack. And I'm doing air quotes when I say that, Dempsey. I think people in the olden days used to use Jack as a nickname for like anything.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
very
like
confused.
John F. Jack Kennedy.
Yeah, I never understood.
Yeah.
I thought those were two different dudes.
Yeah. And plus the Kennedys have an Edward who everyone calls Ted. How do
Really?
how do Edward and Ted get out of this
I mean,
same
that's
thing?
a little closer. Edward, Ted, Teddy, Eddie, Teddy.
Right.
Well, what would Ted? Oh, because Ted is Theodore, right?
Yeah.
And Theodore is not related to Edward.
I mean, maybe like, in the Anglo-Saxon times, they were the same name. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think in olden times, people used to just call a lot of people Jack.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Isn't that an expression? Hey, what's up, Jack?
Yeah.
Don't
hit the
you-
road, Jack.
Yeah,
I think
Jack's
it's
just
kind
used
of
a lot.
all-purpose,
Yeah.
Jack of farts.
Jack of all trades.
Jack
That's probably where that literally
Jack
where that comes from.
O' Lantern. It's another,
Jack o' Lantern.
yeah, like a jack o' lantern.
But what does that have to do with the name Jack?
Well, it's that pumpkin's name is Jack o' Lantern.
Just the name. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the line. Jack Dempsey was a boxer, and he lived 1895 to 1983. 1983.
There is a post in this scene. There is a poster of some boxers on the window.
The Manassas Mauler. The Manasseh Mauler was Jack Dempsey's nickname. That's the picture that's in the window.
Oh, cool.
Because that was a real restaurant that was still open at the time. It was opened from the restaurant was open from 1935 to 1974.
Oh,
So they
wow.
just got it at the end.
Yeah.
Of that.
Oh, very cool.
It was on 49th Street and Broadway. The famous Brill Building, where Neil Diamond and other songwriters worked their trade.
Yeah, very cool.
And Jack Dempsey, the boxer, by then he was retired, and he would he would frequently be at the restaurant. So if you went to the restaurant, he'd be like, "Hey, folks, I'm Jack Dempsey." Like, why do they call you Jack? And he throws a smoke bomb down and runs away.
Oh, you never ask him why they call him Jack.
Never ask.
He's a former boxer, don't
Yeah.
forget.
One of the most famous boxers of the 20th century.
Oh, wow.
He boxed from 1914 to 1927.
Well, that is a long boxing match,
So 13,
Alex.
Yes, 13 years. And of that,
It's like 10 million rounds.
he was the champion 11 of those 13 years that he was the champion 1915 to 1926.
Pardon me asking this. What was his ethnicity?
I think he was a white guy.
Okay.
Looks like an Irish kind of guy. So he was the first boxer to have $1 million gate.
What does that mean?
I'm assuming it means like $1 million purse. Like he got paid $1 million.
Oh, for a fight.
Wow.
A lot of money in them Golden Gloves.
So he boxed that 1914, 1927. How many boxing matches do you think he was in?
What are the years again?
1914 to 1927.
13 years in the prime of his life. I'm terrible at guessing these kinds of things. I think boxers box less now, especially the well-known ones, because they really milk it. So I'm going to say 250 fights.
75 fights.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was so low. I really thought it was going to be like in the hundreds, but I guess you're right. It makes sense.
That's 6 a year about.
Yeah. That's pretty severe beating to take. Take 6 times a year. It's like every 2 months getting beat. Although he was the champ, so I'm sure he did a lot more of the beatings.
He was the one doing the beating. Yeah. You know what drove him to become a boxer?
What?
Because everyone said, "Why are they calling you Jack?"
To the Hulk. So he fought 75 fights, 54 wins, 44 wins by knockout.
Whoa!
Ding! 6 losses and 9 draws.
Yeah. Wow.
That's it. So
Yeah.
you ever get into boxing?
I've watched some of the bigger fights when it's just popular to watch.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch. It's definitely just fun to watch.
Yeah. It's apparently losing. It's on its way out.
Yeah.
They say.
It's definitely not as interesting, not as dynamic as MMA?
Yeah.
Mixed martial
Yeah.
arts. Yeah. That's really fun to watch.
Yeah. They say that you can tell what sport is like popular by how easy it is to find on TV.
Oh, okay.
And so MMA stuff's on all the time, whereas boxing, it's like, it's on twice a year on HBO. You have to pay for a specific. It's not something you generally follow all the time. You know?
But is that a smarter move? Because when it's
smarter move,
it's Jack Dempsey was always smarter because it's a bigger deal when you do see the matches.
I don't think it's a choice. I think that's their appeal is becoming more selective.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of have to, especially nowadays. I feel like if you're a young person who likes to fight, you're probably going to go more into mixed martial arts than into just boxing.
Yeah, because it has more. Because you can box in mixed martial arts.
Yeah,
but you can.
And there's probably a lot more opportunities because it's more popular thing.
Yeah,
I saw this. This American Life did a TV show, and they focused on this guy who was an older boxer, and he wasn't like old, but he was just a guy who never really like made it. And so at this stage in his career, when he's on his way down in his career, and at that stage in his career, his job was basically to get beat up by up and coming boxers who you have to fight X amount of fights every year to qualify for this thing. So go fight that old guy over there. So he's like, my job is just to go, he fights as well as he can, but he's like a 40-year-old guy against 20-year-old,
Does he think he's going to win?
I don't think
does he expects to lose?
No, I think he kind of knows what the deal is, that he's just kind of like there to be like a punching bag for these guys.
That is one of the saddest stories I've ever heard. If he had once made it, I'd be like, okay, you know what? He made it up the mountain and he got a taste of that.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
So what's a worse job? That job or being a negotiator?
Oh, negotiator. They let you win a pinochle. Assuming I can figure out a play.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Alex, it's a trick game. You have to be 18 or older. We're still doing the regular episode. By the way, we talked about how to play pinochle in last week's bonus content.
I love the idea that someone's going to go, I have to listen to that so I can learn how to play pinochle.
That's right. If you want the 30-minute version how to play pinochle, become a supporter.
So, okay, how about this? You currently work in education.
That's true.
We'll say that.
Lowercase e.
if you could make the same salary by getting in a boxing ring for like twice a year.
Oh. So
And
instead of 40 hours a week,
instead of the 40-hour grind, you just have to used to do basically like, probably what's going to be 15 minutes of work. I imagine.
Less than 15 minutes.
Or, but I mean, you'll probably have to put in some training too.
Oh, like defensive tactics.
Yeah. Know how to learn how to curl up into a ball.
Well, what is interesting is all the time I would save not working the grind, the education grind.
Yeah.
It's funny to refer to education as a grind, by the way. I could put even a fraction of that time into learning some defensive moves or even some offensive moves and survive. Basically learn some survival strategies.
Right.
I'd have to think about it. I'd probably say no because I would risk getting killed.
Yeah, or at least sustaining permanent damage.
Yeah.
It's still only twice. Twice a year. The whole rest of the year to just lounge around.
To dread that,
I know.
that next one coming up.
Figure a month after you have to spend recuperating from the fight.
Oh, and that would be the month one of our supporters takes me on a paid trip abroad for, it couldn't be a year then.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Well, maybe that would be part of the year tour.
I go and fight in Germany, the second one. Oh, boy.
They basically would take you to like a boxing hall and they say, this man will box anyone who wants to come into the ring to fight him. And that would be your job, is to be the guy who everyone gets to fight.
Well, I would like that better. I'd like to fight amateurs because I'd have a chance then. But if I'm going pro or semi-pro, I would risk losing my life.
I'm going to say, I do not mean this in a defensive way. But I'm going to say, if you were in that situation and some guy was volunteering to come into the ring, I think he could probably beat you up.
But don't
It's
forget,
not like you're just doing randomly paired with like some
true.
schlub on the street.
That's true. But that's right now.
Oh, you're saying you'd be training.
I would spend. I have
human
6
growth
months
hormones
to do, and I would go in looking like I have no idea what I'm doing. But I would.
Yeah.
Some
wear like
amateur
nerd glasses and be like,
my pocket protector. Someone tell me the rules. I would of course pull all those stunts that all the nerds do when they get in a boxing ring. I'd pull my shorts up to my breasts, so they can't hit me below the belt, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So they'd have to hit me in the face, and I'd have to sustain brain damage.
See, the problem with this scenario is that the whole point is that you'd only have to work 2 days a year. So now the fact that you have to train every day, it's like, what's the point?
Well, I think
what's
would.
The point?
There'd be a compromise. I would train maybe like once a week, or I would stay in
like the week before the fight. You'd train.
No, not the week before the fight.
You'd have a training montage.
I'd have a training montage.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it is an interesting. It's a ridiculous question. Let's just say that, but it is an interesting question. What would be your strategy? And maybe I would just run every day and become like a cardio monster.
Yeah.
And I would literally, for 9 rounds, I would just outrun my opponent. Right. And they'd call me the chicken. But seriously, I'd be a cardio master.
See, I think I would take the opposite tact.
You would open your arms,
I would just feel
right at you.
Well, I would put my arms up for some kind of defense, but I'd know like this is probably not going to last more than 5 seconds. I mean, there's real boxing matches that are over in like in 15 seconds.
Well, you just one hit, 2 hits, them hitting you hitting the floor.
Yeah, so I feel like that's like the best I could hope for. Just get it over with as quick as possible.
Would you, if the
better shape you're in, the more of a beating you're going to take.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah,
I'm right.
So one other question is, would you fake it? So if the first hit did knock you out, would you go down anyway?
Would I just come out and be like, I twisted my ankle? I just love the idea of me trying to fake it. I don't even see how I could even fake it, because any punch that connected with me would probably send me to the ground anyway. So it's not like I guess I could just like close my eyes and pretend I'm knocked out.
So would you? I have 2 more questions.
Yes.
Now. If you accepted this challenge, would you assume that the 2 fights would be 6 months apart? Would you want yours 2 in the same week just to get them over with? So then you have a year to chill?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The first guy would come in, punch me, knock me out with one punch, and then the referee would be like, stand him up.
Damn it, I said stand him up, Phil. But he's a cartoonist.
His jaw's hanging off.
Damn it.
Why do you guys tell me my business, huh? I love him.
McCluskey's definitely on Don King's payroll. And for big bucks.
I feel like the first part of the movie, Waltz was our go-to thing, and now McCluskey's become he's the Waltz of the middle section.
So who is it going to be in Act 3?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Any new characters?
Well, we meet the mob bosses.
Yeah,
but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah,
Who's going to be the breakout star? Yeah. Momo Green's coming up too.
Oh, definitely. Well, what's the matter with you? He says that. So one more question about this ridiculous boxing thing.
Yes.
If you had to be a boxer or a wrestler, if you got to choose the same scenario, twice a year you have to fight a professional.
Oh, well, I'd be a wrestler.
So you'd want someone to give you a pile driver or a camel clutch?
I would rather have someone be pretending to try to hurt me than someone really trying to hurt me.
What do you mean pretending?
Well, the wrestling is like choreographed or not choreographed, but it's kind of like you're in a partnership with the guy. You guys like work together to do a show.
No, Alex, I'm talking about WWF professional, like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. You're in there. You have to wrestle one of those guys.
Oh, wrestling. No, then I would pick boxing. I don't want some guy laying on top of me in a boxing ring. Ugh.
Well, and the worst, I think you chose well, because the worst part about wrestling is they don't let you lose. They toy with you.
That's true.
They lift you up again.
I can just lay down on the ground.
Yeah. And then even if the referee tried to intercede, they would throw the referee out. That'd be great. Hulk Hogan versus McCluskey as a referee.
There were two Jack Dempsey matches I was reading about one Jack Dempsey match I was reading about called the long count match.
Oh.
And they instigated a rule that said whenever if one boxer goes down, the other boxer has to go to a neutral corner and wait. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was instituted as a result of one of Jack Dempsey's fights?
His team was the one who requested it, but so this was like the first time after they did that, and so Jack Dempsey punched the guy, he fell down on the ground, and then Jack Dempsey was just like standing over him, and so the ref was like, come on, you have to go back to your. So the refs took 4 seconds getting Jack Dempsey back to his corner, and then he came back and started going 1, 2, so he gave the guy like an extra time, and then basically the same thing happened later on when Jack Dempsey was.
So that guy didn't. So that guy got up. He wasn't counted out.
The guy
at that
got
point?
up. Yeah, according to the official timekeeper, he was down for 14 seconds, so he would have been out if the ref was there counting. So that's an interesting.
Very interesting. The long count.
Yeah, the long count.
Cool.
So that's. I'm going to say wrestling.
Okay.
I thought what about you? If you do boxing or mixed martial arts?
I would go boxing.
You go boxing.
I mixed martial arts. Those leg locks and arm bars.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you just have to. It's not going to be a long match.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because when you to lose an MMA match, you have to tap out.
Oh, is that true? Is that true? Okay.
It's not like they're not counting.
So as soon as the thing goes, you're like, tap out.
Yeah.
It's the shortest match. It's like 0.045 seconds. The shortest match in MMA history.
It's the short count match.
The chicken has done it again.
And then, of course, you have your manager immediately pass you one of those large cardboard checks with your your half your salary, your year's salary.
Your eyeballs hanging out of you. Oh, no, you didn't get hit at all.
Right, you tapped out.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, I guess that'll wrap up minute 82.
Well, what are you going to rate this minute?
Oh, right.
So it is a transition minute. They say goodbye, and Jack Dempsey.
It is a transition.
He actually gets picked up. And Sollozzo starts talking to him.
We do see the Turk, and we do see shot ends on McCluskey. Yeah. He looks around. Mm-hmm. I hope we can work this out.
I think that's where it ends. Right
says,
there.
Yeah, something like that. Do you think he's being sincere? Does the Turk really hope they can work things out?
No, killing Sollozzo is the killing Pop is the key. Mm-hmm. So Sollozzo needs to kill him. All this negotiation stuff. No.
All right. So you think if the Turk if The Turk had said, assuming this assassination plan didn't work, you think no matter what, the Turk was going to kill the Don?
That's
Even
the
if they're
key.
like, we agreed all your terms, we'll give you $1 million, we'll give you $1 million bucks in our political.
We'll give you the political protection. We'll give you the white powder. Sonny was hot for the deal. You're right. He reveals everything.
Fredo's in the mental hospital.
Yeah. We think Tessio's a traitor. He was always smarter, so it was a good move.
We totally blackmailed that movie guy into giving Johnny the part.
Johnny!
All right, so you want to
Let's rate it.
Rate it?
Ready? 1, 2.
There we go. 2.
There you go. 2 it is. Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be getting a lot better, though.
Yeah.
Some exciting minutes coming up.
Yeah. Stick around for the bonus content.
I can't believe
We got
it's
something
8
else.
minutes till he gets shot.
8
They
minutes.
drive around for 8 minutes? Or I guess they have to sit down and talk. And
Yeah.
it's not like he shoots as soon as they get to the restaurant.
That's right. There's a little bit of dialogue in the car coming up.
Yeah, that's true. Where they
Yeah.
go to New Jersey. And So, all right.
Well, don't forget when they go to the restaurant, they have to try the veal. It's the best in the city.